Good afternoon, everybody. Hi, everyone. This is Manning Franks. I am your host of the show Gone with the Wind, and today we have a live stream predictions of the Golden Globes. What we're going to be looking forward to is the Golden Globes are today at 8 p.m. Eastern, I believe 5 p.m. Pacific, but I don't know time zones. I'm bad at names, I'm bad with time zones, I'm bad with anything, almost anything not related to media. Thank you all for joining us today. It's going to be live off the cuff. We're going to try to keep it about an hour 15 is the goal. So thank you all for joining. And first, I want to go ahead and welcome my panelists here today to talk about our predictions for the Golden Globes. Of course, you have, I'm going to go right below me, and that is Abe.
Hello, Manny. How are you guys doing? What? Do I sound correct?
I about to say, I think we have more robotic reaction.
Really?
Yep. We had this problem beforehand. Abe, but hello. Just want to give you a heads up. We have robotic Abe back. But besides Abe, we have, wait, I'm going to try to do this. Malcolm.
Yeah, I think the blokes was like, I'll pretend to be good so they go live, then I'll come back later.
What's your sauce, Abe?
But with that being said, it's a lot of fun. It's nice and early in the morning for me, which I enjoy.
Mm-hmm. Yes, and we had planned to do this Saturday, but a couple of factors, kind of stopped. But we realized, we could get everyone on if we did it at this time, except Abe now. Abe apparently is having technical difficulties, so hopefully he will come right back. But also, we have a special guest here today. I'm currently editing one of the podcasts that we are. The podcast me and him edited was going to be 60, but this one is now 60. Instead, the one you're going to see later is 61, where we have a Sundance recap. Ladies and gentlemen, this is Dan Skip Allen.
Hey, how's it going, Malcolm? Welcome. I'm glad to be back again with you guys. I love talking about awards and awards season, and hopefully we won't have too many hot takes with our picks here today.
This is going to be interesting because I think this year, more so than almost any other years that we had recently, is that it is the playing field is not set in stone for two reasons. One, for COVID, and one, seems to be one critical darling. Yes, Nomadland has gotten a lot of critics awards, but I don't see one particular film as being the one that's like, boom, taking that, boom, taking that, boom, taking that. Golden Globes really set the stage for what's starting to build momentum while not being like the obvious, like, oh, this is what it's going to be. I think we're going to have we're going to be on our toes, and that's what I'm excited to see. But until Abe gets back, I want to pose a question to you guys before we get started into our nominations. This year, because of COVID, we have had to adapt dramatically. And one of the biggest ways we had to adapt for award shows, literally, I think the Grammys was like the last one that was like full on, and now we don't even have that. We don't have the Grammys push themselves back. The Golden Globes pushed their things back. SAG pushed their thing back. The Oscars themselves pushed it back. And look, here's Abe again.
How do I sound?
Beautiful.
Okay, then I have to be carrying the mic in my hand for a whole hour.
I'm so sorry. Again, we're going to try to make this as snappy as possible. But anyway, now that Abe is back, I was just telling them, Abe, since last year, Grammys was the last award show that we think we had in person. I could be wrong on that. It's the one that I remember. And the Golden Globes a year later have had to adapt, pushing their thing back. So I wanted to pose the question to you all. With it being virtual and kind of socially distanced tonight, with Amy Poehler and Tina Fey hosting, what do you guys expect to see? Are you guys excited? Are you guys trepidatious? What are you feeling when it comes to this brand new way that we are seeing the award show? Is this something we could be excited about, or is this something that you guys might be like, okay, I can't wait till we get back to the regularly scheduled program next year? Dan, as our guest, would you like to start?
Yeah, well, I'll tell you, the Golden Globes are considered the largest party. They have this party where they're eating and they're drinking and they're having a good old time, and we always end up with these crazy acceptance speeches and people doing all kinds of. So now we're going to have hosts in a room somewhere or a studio somewhere announcing things. We're going to have a camera with somebody, so they get to have their own little party wherever they are. The Emmys kind of did that, and it seemed to work. So maybe this will work as well. And with the not being able to kind of predict, like you said, there's so many different things going into this where it could be people that nobody could think of, or people that are kind of gaining momentum, and then people are losing momentum. So you could have some interesting picks for winners, and that could end up with some amazing moments. So I'm looking forward to seeing the craziness, and hopefully that aspect of the Golden Globes still remains with these parties and people being at their own houses or wherever their groups that they're staying. And with Amy Poehler and Tina Fey, they're not going to be boring.
No, they're not, and I agree with that. Although it's going to be weird because with their chemistry, they work so well, like right next to each other, but they're not even going to be in the same place. They're going to be tele-hosting from, I think, opposite sides of the country. I could be wrong on that one, but they're not even like near each other. Malcolm, so you've heard that too.
Yeah, I didn't know that.
Yeah. So, like, the Emmys was the one that I think Emmys is the first award show that they did via Zoom / a little bit of audience with Jimmy Kimmel in a theater doing the monologue and all that. So I think they were the ones that showed that they could do this. This is going to be interesting because, like, as Manning said, like, Tina Fey and Amy Poehler are going to be in different places. So how that's going to work, I don't know. But this is one of those ones, like, I've really enjoyed watching it regardless, because they're both really good comedians. And
I agree. So, Abe, for you personally, how excited are you to see how Golden Globes goes about doing this? Obviously, this is completely different than what we've had in the past for obvious reasons, but are you excited to see how they do this, or are you just kind of like,
I think you just described my perfect opinion.
Oh, okay, cool.
I honestly, I don't like watching things on Zoom. I understand why they do it or whatever. It's safe for everybody, but it's not excited. It's not that excited that I totally forgot the Golden Globes were today until Manning told me yesterday. I don't know what I thought they were in March. You know what was my date for 28th? It was the last day for movies to be released for Oscars. So I really do not I say, why? I know why they're doing it, but I'm not excited to watch it. Like, to see people on screen, that's why. Like, if I want to see people on little screens, I think I still, like, I don't know if it's old school, but I kind of appreciate the glamour that goes with those award shows, the celebrities and everything. It's kind of what's fun from them. Other, like, for the normal people, because we're those guys that watch, I don't know. Yeah, like 200 people, like 200 movies a year and everything. Like, for those awards, like, the movies we like care, but like for the normal, I don't see the normal audience caring that much for that, because I think the red carpet is like, it's very well watched for most award shows, because, well, there's celebrities walking, and we leave a word that we people focus a lot on celebrities, which is, whatever you think about it, it's true. And it's even I, like, I don't care about them that much. Like, watching them, I'm gonna watch them because I guess that's my job, or kind of. But I may, you say, I may have to do the whole something. Like, I'm not excited at all. I hope they pull it off. I hope they do a good job. But, like, other than that, like, meh. Like, I prefer. That's why I'm hoping for the Oscars. Like, at least get the nominated people, and there we'll have a show.
And-
Maybe a shorter show because the circumstances. But, like,
I think they finally might be able to have a shorter show for the Oscars, and that's never happened before, so we're going to see how that pulls off. But you had mentioned that you yourself are not as excited about the Golden Globes tonight, or at least how they're going to be presenting it. I think this is the year more than anything else, especially with the news that broke and about how the Hollywood Foreign Press really fails when it comes to minorities and people of color, and how it kind of shows these are, while it's nice to have a Golden Globe nominee or Golden Globe winner in front of your movie or in front of an actor or a trade of some kind, I think this kind of goes to show it's going to be about the merits and less about this and the substance of the win, more than the actual flair or the style because they can't do much about it. You're not going to have a moment where someone's going to cut to someone else for a reaction. They're probably not, think about it. We're not going to have a live audience reaction for jokes that may come out. You're not going to hear these things. They might, I don't know. They could throw in the laugh track, but I don't see that happening.
I mean, what they could do, but which they may not, because they don't want to be seen as copying what the Emmys did. What the Emmys did, they had for the opening monologue for either Fallon or Kimmel, was one of the Jimmys that hosted it at that time.
Kimmel.
But what they had is they had a pad shot of a audience, but it turned out to be and that Jimmy came out to host it, but it turned out the pad shot of the audience was from a previous Emmy Awards, because it like he said, I'll pause the video. It's like, how am I in this audience while I'm on stage at the same time? And so I don't think they can do that again. But what they did do is each TV show, by the looks of it, they had their own sort of party. They all had their own get together, and that, so they got to be at least in the same room. They still paid for some reaction shot when they won and all that. Whether or not they do that now, because I don't know what on each different states on their on what their requirements is for COVID at this stage. Some places might be able to do that, but some probably won't.
Yeah, I mean, if anything else, they probably might have the movies grouped together, like you were saying. Like they might have like to do with the Emmys and have like this movie's here, this movie's there, that TV show. Because let's not forget, Golden Globes also have TV. While we will not be discussing the TV per se, they will in fact have the winners for TV here. Instead, they might have everything grouped up accordingly to like movie, TV. All the cast and the crew for this one is in this section. They're gonna accept the awards and have their own party over there instead of it being one giant super spreader, if you will. But anyway, so that's kind of what we're discussing. I'm curious to see what it's going to look like tonight. Again, this all may be mute by the time tomorrow comes up, because we will have absolutely seen what it turns out. I'm curious more than anything else. I'm very curious to see how they pull this off, more so than excited than or like, you know, or like, oh God, not this again. I'm more just kind of like, I'm curious. So I guess at the end, curious is the emotion that I would say I possess at the moment.
I'm curious about how many jokes we made about someone being muted.
Over under at least 4. Over under 4. I'm not going to take it. Sorry, I was muted. I'm saying at least 4. That's what I'm going to say. Anyway, all right. So let us get into the actual nomination predictions, because that's honestly what the thumbnail says, and that's kind of be what the title says. So that's what you guys are here for now, to kind of discuss the show transpiring. So right now, we all have our Gold Derby. That's kind of what we use to kind of get our nomination processes in, to see tabulations. We're going to start off with Best Song and what we think is going to be the winner. Now, if we have a personal preference, we can mention that, but that's not the focus. More along the lines of what we think is going to win. This is not a personal choice. This is more what we think from a numbers game, from a numbers standpoint. So strap yourselves in. So Abe, we're going to start with you, sir. We're going to go kind of like what I did introduction wise. So we're going to have Abe, Malcolm, Dan, me, and that's how we're going to have it. So we're going to start off with you, Abe. Tell us about who do you think is going to win for Best Song? And for those unaware, Best Song is currently Speak Now, One Night in Miami, Hear My Voice, The Trial of Chicago 7, Tigress and Tweed, United States versus Billie Holiday, Fight for You, Judas and the Black Messiah, and the life or scene from The Life Ahead.
Okay. So I have 2 choices. Well, only one's gonna win, but I think there's 2 good ways to make an argument, and I'm gonna make one for one, and I think you guys are gonna make one for the other one, because I think they're both possible. I think Tigress and the Tweed from the United States versus Billie Holiday can win, and I want to tell you why.
Tell us.
Because it's a movie about a singer. I think that makes sense. You know, like if in a so weird year, like you have to go with some kind of tendencies you get. You know what I won last year? I wanna love you again. I wanna love me again from Elton John. I cannot recall another song about sing, but you know, you can see some things writing on the wall. and I think that can happen. I think my second one will be One Night in Miami because out of the five pictures nominated, I think that of Chicago are the ones nominated for drama. And I'm correct, right? Yeah, both of them are for drama. One Night in
Mhm.
Miami, and I think it's a stronger song from Speak Now than what it's for Chicago 7. So both of them. But if I were to pick one, I will go with Tigers in the Tweet. However, I think I'm wrong. But I'm gonna roll my dice and say that.
Honestly, this is what it is, rolling the dice, because Golden Globes kind of sets the bar for certain things, even though while it's not an indication of the industry, it kind of gets the ball rolling on what people are thinking about. Malcolm, what about you?
Um, yeah, having not known anything about these songs, I listened to these
No.
songs early when I was setting up these gold derbies, so I was like, so I actually knew what the songs were. And out of the five, I think "Fight for You" is the better song out of this. Partly because I think the song itself isn't important. It's kind of talking about all the culture and stuff that is related to that movie. Which I still haven't seen yet, which I'll get onto it at some stage. But I think the one that could maybe give it some challenge is "Speak Now" from One Night in Miami, just because it is Leslie Odom Jr. singing it, and he's already nominated as well, so he may get a double one. Because I think the same was happened to Cynthia Erivo, maybe. I don't know, but yeah, for Harriet.
She was nominated. I don't. She didn't win. I don't think, but she
I-
definitely was nominated.
Yeah,
That is very true. That could happen. That is a very strong song. Dan, what about you?
Yeah, I mean, both Malcolm and Abe said some good things there, but I strongly believe it's going to be "Speak Now" for One Night in Miami for Leslie Odom Jr. for the fact that he's already nominated Best Supporting Actor. This way, they can give him an award and not give him Best Supporting Actor and give that award to somebody else, but still give him an award. And that's why I think, and that's what happened with Lady Gaga, where she was nominated for Best Actress in Musical and Comedy or whatever, and Best Song. Oh, they gave her Best Song, right? Am I wrong on that? Or
They did give her
I
best
mean,
song.
yeah. But I mean, I think it was one of those years of which "Shallow" was a really standout favorite
Yeah,
to win. I
yeah.
think the other songs
You're
weren't
right.
even close. So
What
No,
were the
I
other
think that might be a
songs?
different thing.
No, you're right. That was, I mean, everybody was singing that song. I mean, literally everybody walking down the street was singing that song where I was living. But yeah, so I'm saying Leslie Odom Jr. for One Night in Miami. But Mike Malcolm, it could sneak up on us. Fight for You for Judas and the Black Messiah, but also Tigers and Tweed because Andrew Day is an actual singer playing a singer in a biopic. So that could be like all these categories have so many options that you could go with, and it's a toss-up. It really is a toss-up.
No, and I agree. I think Dan, you said it right. This is a complete toss-up, mainly because we really don't know. There hasn't been a front runner, as Malcolm was saying. "Shallow" was like taking everything when that song came out. Like it was nominated for a Grammy that year for best song, maybe best record of the year, but I'm not positive. Yeah, there isn't a song like that this year. There isn't a song like that at all. And I'm not sure if that's the quality of the films or just kind of COVID not having a cultural or no film having a cultural zeitgeist. What were you going to say, Dan?
There is a song that I'm shocked it didn't get nominated. It's the song for Fight for Democracy, the documentary on Amazon Prime that about Stacey Abrams. There's a song in there that's a great song that didn't even get nominated. Listen to the song from that movie and see what you think. I think that song is really good.
And I think A would be the one to say, first one to say to mine, and I'm pretty confident he would agree with this, that somehow in some strange world that Eurovision did not get a song in here. Like, what is this? What is this? He would be the first one to say that.
Yeah.
Anyway, what I think is going to win, unless A would like to comment upon that, and it said he disagrees, but I don't think he would.
I was muted.
Yeah.
No, but
Can you imagine those guys getting up on stage, singing a song, and then having a win, Rachel McAdams and Will Ferrell get accepted trophies for the win. I mean,
That'd be amazing.
That would be crazy.
Okay, so for me, best song is I'm gonna go ahead and agree with Dan. I think "Speak Now" would be a great place to let Leslie Odom Jr. win, or not let him win. Excuse me. I think that'd be a very deserving point because he is at his heart a beautiful singer, and I think that this would be a great place to award him. However, "Fight for You" I think is also one that's like right there. That could also be the one time that Judas and the Black Messiah wins, maybe depending on if another category is the one that takes it as well too. Possibly, we'll get to that a little bit later. I think right now, "Hear My Voice" would be a really upset, and I think it would show the strength of Chicago 7. I don't see that to be the case, and honestly, "The Life Ahead" kind of is just happy to be nominated. But yeah, that is currently what we think is going to be happening. So me and Dan are "Speak Now." Malcolm, what were you again?
Fight for You.
"Fight for You," and then Abe, you were "Tigress and Tweed."
Correct.
All right, so this will be interesting then. There is no big consensus. The most consensus one is "Speak Now," but I'm curious because I could see any of these three winning. All right, going on now to best score, and that is Soul, that is Tenet, that is Mank, that is Midnight Sky, and that is News of the World. So, Abe, tell us, educate us, which one is going to walk away with this?
Okay, Manning, I don't have to make an argument because I think I talked about Soul scores in the last episode like for 30 minutes, so it's gonna be Soul. It's the best one out of it. I think it's the one you remember when you hear it. Like, I don't know which, well, maybe because the movie it's the only movie that came out of jazz. If Soul had a song, it would have won Best Picture, Best Original Song.
The song would win Best Picture.
Yeah. And I was gonna comment that usually the Best Original Song, it's kind of a popularity contest. Like, it's usually the song that it's linked to the blockbuster, that animated movie, that musical they bring. Like, if the release schedule was normal, like I bet you it's probably gonna be In the Heights song or something like that. But yeah, I think it's gonna be Soul. So I won't keep talking because I make my argument last episode.
You did, and I agree, and I think, I won't say what never mind. You like jazz? Malcolm, tell us, what do you think is going to be winning score? Which I think honestly is not the best score year in the world, but it's a solid year for score. Which one do you think is the one walking away with this?
Yeah, a lot of these like scores to me are really not overly memorable. Like, I'm struggling to remember the scores for any of them at this point. But I think the one that I'm going to give it to is Soul, just because that is the most recent movie that came out, and if I'm trying to remember the scores, I can't imagine why anyone else would remember it. And I mean, I personally don't think the Tenet score is good. I don't think it should have even been in the nomination.
Sir, I disagree with that completely. I love that Tenet score, but you know what? This is why we have the podcast, for people to disagree over film scores. That's the only reason. No, Dan, what do you have?
Yeah, I have Soul winning as well, but I'll tell you what, that Tenet score hits you over the head with a sledgehammer when you're watching that movie, even in the trailers. It's just like loud, like I can't do the score because that did not sound like the score, but it was in my brain. I was doing the score, but that has a crazy good score. Tenet does, but also Mank, I think, has a good score in a subtler way. But yeah, Soul, it's Soul all the way.
No, and I think this is going to be a default, if you will. I agree. I think this is Soul's to lose, but I would not be shocked at a Mank coming out of nowhere and just being like, "Thank you," which I think might speak to the power of Mank, because Mank did get a lot of. I mean, right now, I think I'm predicting it to get 0. I don't think, which is weird considering Mank got like the most. I could be wrong. I could look at my list and be like, "Oh wait, no, just kidding." I'm like, never mind. But like, still,
of this year,
it could easily get 0. I don't have it predicted at this moment. I looked back again and I was like, nope, hold on. But like, still, I think that's a testament to I think Mank might be a consensus of like people to like, but I don't think it's one that people are going to all gravitate toward and be like, yes, Mank, the best score of the year. They might see Soul and be like, this has jazz, and we love jazz. I don't know if that's what they're gonna do, but anyway, next one we have is best foreign language film. We have. All right, Abe. I'm gonna see if I can get this. Okay, another round. La Llorona, Two of Us, The Life Ahead, and Minari. Abe, did I get the pronunciation right? And what's gonna win?
That's the best Spanish I've heard since I heard my mom talking right now.
Thank you. I'm here all day.
Look, same as so. I think we're gonna agree that it's gonna be Minari. I'm not Japanese, so it's Korean, right? Sorry.
It's Korean, yes.
Yeah, but yeah. I think my light went off. I don't know why. I think it's gonna be. I don't think we have to do much of the argument. We know it's gonna get nominated at Best Picture at the Oscars more than likely. So I do think it's kind of a Roma Parasite situation right here. So
Agreed. Minari, the foreign language film from the U.S. What do you think is going to win, Malcolm?
It's got to be Minari at this point because one, it wasn't eligible for the drama section, so it's going to win somewhere. I haven't seen any of these. I actually tried to see Minari last week, but forgot. We'll try and see it this week.
All right. So, but Dan, is this kind of like, do we need to hold our breath? Is this Minari?
Well, I'll tell you right now, guys, if this was the Oscars, you could probably predict a different film than Minari to win this. Because I feel like Another Round is a phenomenal film and deserves an Academy Award, but because we're talking about the Golden Globes and Minari's in there, you got to give it to Minari because Minari's not going to. I mean, it's got some nominations in some other categories, but this is their way of saying, look, we gave Minari a Golden Globe, the picture itself, the movie itself, an award. But Another Round, keep an eye out for Another Round for the Oscars, because that could be the winner there. I've seen 4 of the 5, and of these 5, Minari is my second favorite. Another Round is actually my first favorite, starring Mads Mikkelsen. But because of what the Golden Globes do, it's going to be Minari.
Well, especially since Minari, I don't think is not going to be nominated for a foreign language film because technically, I don't think it fits under that.
Nope.
Umbrella.
What is the word? It fits under that umbrella, if you will. But yeah, this is Minari. Leo Logan, who's in our chat right now, agrees it is Minari, and I completely agree. I'm not even going to try to. I'm not even going to say anything else. It's just contrarian at this point to say anything otherwise. Minari is going to probably take this in a landslide especially after the fiasco we talked about a while ago. They're probably going to be like, take it. But yeah, best animated feature we have Soul, we have Wolfwalkers, we have Over the Moon, we have The Croods New Age, and we have Onward. Is this another one that's self-explanatory, Abe?
Yes. I don't think I have to say. I think we all know. Give me an ass, give me a no. Oh, give me a you. It's gonna be Soul.
There you go. SOUL. I gave it all to you, sir. Like I'm not a cheerleader, but I gave it to you. All right. So, and Malcolm, do you agree with Abe?
Yeah, I mean, I personally liked Onward better than Soul, but I do think Soul is going to win.
Yeah. What was that, Abe?
I think he said, of course.
Yeah. Malcolm.
I thought you said.
I never said I didn't. I never said I didn't like Soul. I do like Soul as well.
Oh no! But you always have those hot takes, as the people in Twitter say.
Got those hot takes, Dan. Do you have a hot take for this one?
Yeah.
Or is this just all?
Look, guys, I don't think it's as cut and dry as you think. You got to remember who we're talking about here. The Hollywood foreign press. Emphasis on the word foreign. What's the movie from another country? Wolfwalkers. They could go with Wolfwalkers because they want to reward Cartoon Lagoon, and that's based in another country. But I think it's going to be Soul. Just saying, I just wanted to put that out there. There's a chance that Wolfwalkers could sneak up here and steal this, but because maybe Soul got best score, like, oh, we're good. Wolfwalkers, best animated feature. You don't know. Golden Globes do some weird things, but I believe it's going to be Soul. I'm just saying, I'm just putting out that. Just keep an eye out for Wolfwalkers. And Wolfwalkers is a phenomenal film. I've seen all the animated films here, and Wolfwalkers and Soul are neck and neck with each other for the best of the animated film of the year, in my opinion. So there you go.
Now, yeah, I'm looking back, and let's not forget Missing Link won last year. It beat out Toy Story 4, Frozen 2, The Lion King, How to Train Your Dragon, The Hidden World. So I would not put it out for them to not pick the Disney feature. However, that said, Soul has the momentum at the moment, and they could completely be like, yep, we're going to give it to Soul. We gave them score. We're going to give them animated feature as well. So I think they're going to go with Soul. But again, Dan's right. Look out for Wolfwalkers, and that might bring a shift. We don't know, but I'm going to go with Soul because it's the what's the word? It's the safest choice. And I have some other instances where I'm going to throw my dice, and we'll talk about that later. The next category we have is Best Film Screenplay. Now, WGA, in fact, announced their nominations, and I'm going to get that up in a second when we come back to me, just so we have what the WGA actually said for their nominations. But Film Screenplay for the Golden Globes, we have Trial of the Chicago 7, Promising Young Woman, Mank, The Father, and Nomadland. And I'm just doing these in no order in particular, just to show, not to reveal what my current nominations are, because I'm looking at my Gold Derby now, and it shows what I have ranked, and I'm not going to reveal it, so they're in random order. Abe, actually, you know what? We're going to switch it up. After every 4 or so, we're going to switch it up. Malcolm, Dan, me, then Abe. So we're going to kind of keep it up going and keep people on their toes. So Malcolm, what do you think is winning Best Film Screenplay?
Yeah, this is where I'm going to throw my dice a little bit because I really like Promising Young Woman, and I think the screenplay is really good. So I think that could pull off an upset here and take out the win.
All right. Well, there we go. Hot take. Dan, do you have another hot take?
Yeah, well, I believe it's a 2-horse race. I mean, Malcolm wasn't really going out that much on a limb. I think it's a 2-horse race. I think Promising Young Woman is in that race, but I think the front runner right now is Trial of the Chicago 7, because Aaron Sorkin's not going to win for Best Director. So how do they reward Aaron Sorkin in Trial of the Chicago 7? Best Screenplay, just like they did with Leslie Odom Jr. This is their way of spreading the love. Emerald Fennell, I mean, she's got a legitimate shot to win Best Director, but also the screenplay could win. But I think it's going to go to Aaron Sorkin because he's got director and he's got screenplay, and this is their way to give it to him because his picture's got a lot of nominations. So does Promising Young Woman, but I think the crazy pick here would be Mank, but I don't see that happening.
Okay, there we go. For some reason, I kept remuting me back. But what I was going to go say, yeah, Globes, absolutely. Like, I think he's won. I don't know how many he's won off the top of his head. So, but like off the top of my head. But Aaron Sorkin is like a god amongst the Golden Globes. So they will worship at his altar and give him that Golden Globe, I think, more than anything else. Because I think everyone can agree that the writing was stronger in Chicago 7 than the directing. Not saying the directing wasn't bad. It's just saying the writing was superior. And I think because that's where Sorkin shines. He shines as a writer, and it's a great screenplay. However, Malcolm, if he wasn't Aaron Sorkin, I'd be like, absolutely. Promising Young Woman. With how much they loved it, I don't think anyone expected Promising Young Woman to do as good as it did. Promising Young Woman is an amazing film. I love Promising Young Woman. I finally got a chance to see it, and it is amazing. And the girlfriend saw it, and we were just like, "This is fantastic." We love the character of Carey Mulligan, which we'll get to a little bit later. We love the entire screenplay. It's a really well-directed film from Emerald Fennell. But I think she probably might win, depending on where momentum is. She has a chance at winning WGA more than the Golden Globes. And I think the Golden Globes is almost Aaron Sorkin's wrapped up in a bow and ready to be sent off. But I could be wrong, and that could show the weakness of Chicago 7. But at this moment, I'm going to go with Chicago 7. And because I mentioned before, I'd tell you what each one is. Or excuse me, I'd tell you what each nominations were for the WGA. For Best Adapted Screenplay, we have Borat, Subsequent Movie Film, Ma Rainey's Black Bottom, News of the World, One Night in Miami, and The White Tiger, the movie from Netflix, which I saw once I saw the nominations, which I can also say it's a very well done film. And Best Original Screenplay, Judas and the Black Messiah, Palm Springs, Promising Young Woman, Sound of Metal, and Trial of the Chicago 7. If Aaron Sorkin doesn't take that, I can easily see Emerald Fennell getting it.
I'm actually surprised that Mank did not get in.
I just realized that. Wow.
Was Jack Fincher, was he able to be nominated? Was he
That's a great
member
question.
of the Writers Guild to where he could have been nominated, Malcolm?
I mean, I don't know.
I will investigate that right now. But first, Abe, you tell us what your pick for is for Golden Globe's Best Film Screenplay, and I'm going to do some investigation.
Abe. Apparently.
Well,
Abe?
we
Abe.
lost Abe for a hot second. So in the meantime, I'm gonna do this right now and tell us all where. Oh nope, here he is. Just kidding.
I'm back. Sorry, I was having a conversation on the screen.
And we're live.
So I think it's gonna be Trial of Chicago 7. I just for the little fact, Aaron Sorkin has been nominated 6 times before tonight. He's won 2. This is the 7 and 8 nomination he has got for director and writing. But I think it's gonna be Aaron Sorkin. I would like to see Emerald Fennell winning for Promising Young Woman, but I think that's where the Promising Young Woman is an original screenplay, right? If I'm not mistaken. Yeah, you just said it. Yeah, but I think it's where the balance goes. I think it's gonna be Aaron Sorkin. Well, and also this can set the stage for what wins at the end, best film drama, and it's probably gonna be Trials of Chicago 7. You know, like whatever wins screenplay, I think it can win drama. Even though Nomadland seems like a good choice for that, I think Trials of Chicago 7 is gonna win. Manning,
But yeah.
Oh, sorry, I'm still looking right now.
I've actually just looked at and
Yes.
I actually found an IndieWire article which kind of talks about this, because another one I didn't realize was missing until it was mentioned in this is Nomadland, but that was considered ineligible.
Okay.
But I'm still reading down there now, so
Oh, you're right. So this year, they say this year's ineligible list was massive, what IndieWire was saying. And one of them was Mank and Nomadland, it looks to be. So there was a massive list of those that were ineligible, which I find is interesting considering we're in the middle of a pandemic and they're worried about ineligibility. So sorry, everybody.
Gotta be in the guild.
I know. One of the few ones to do that, which I find really interesting. All right. So we're going to go into Best Film Director. Speaking of directors, we're going to go right into that right now. So we have Aaron Sorkin, as we mentioned prior, Chloe Zhao, David Fincher, Regina King, and Emerald Fennell. Malcolm, who do you have?
as much as I kind of want Emerald Fennell to win here for Promising Young Woman, I kind of went with Chloe Zhao because she does have, I believe she's got the momentum going in. And I've heard just nothing but good things about Nomadland. I've still got to see it. It's just not on anywhere at the moment.
Dan, what do you have for the winner? I think we might all have the same one, but I'm curious to see what you have.
Yeah. I think one of the ones that are as close to a lock as you could get is Chloe Zhao for Nomadland. I just think this is their way of starting that ball rolling for Nomadland, winning a bunch of awards, and this is the first one I think they're going to get, and they're going to reward Chloe Zhao. I mean, this is an absolute masterpiece of a film, in my opinion. It was my #1 film of the year, so I'm going to definitely pick Chloe Zhao for Nomadland.
I think she has won the most critics groups, I believe, for our director, and I think out of almost any individual person has won the most awards for a specific category. I think this is kind of going to be a Chloe Zhao more so than almost anyone else. Aaron Sorkin could, but I highly doubt it. Maybe this is a Fincher. Maybe this is Emerald Fennell. Maybe this is Regina King. I'm not sure, but I think I'm more confident saying Chloe Zhao more than anyone else. What about you, Abe?
Yeah, I agree with you guys. I think it's gonna be Chloe, and she's been the, I guess, predicted front runner for a while now. Since I've been checking Gold Derby for most of the awards, like since October, I keep seeing her name pop out on those, like at the top of most of everybody's list. And I haven't watched Nomadland because I haven't gotten a VPN to work for Hulu. Uh, but I do think that she has a front runner, and I think it's gonna be interesting because if she doesn't win, I think that changes the. I don't know how much it changes the momentum of the race, but it can sway something. It's hard to believe well, the most experienced director here it's David Fincher, and he's not gonna it's kind of crazy. The year that feels a little bit easier to not being disrespected with more uh I would say common director players, like he's not gonna win, but yeah, I think it's gonna be Chloe. So
No, and I think this is going to be the out of everything else, this might be the one that's the most out of all the below the lines, or not, that's not below the lines, but all the technical places or technical awards, this might be the one for it to be Chloe Zhao more than anyone else. Anyway.
While we're still on Sorkin, something I actually just found out that out of Aaron Sorkin's last screenplay nominations he's got at the Globes, how many has he won?
2.
Did he win for the Facebook movie?
Yeah, he's only won twice out of his 8 nominations he's had at the Globes. And that was for Steve Jobs and the Social Network.
Oh, he won for Steve Jobs. I forgot about that.
Yeah.
He won a bunch for West Wing, right, Malcolm?
I mean, I only looked up his film nominations. I don't know about his TV nominations.
Yeah, because I know that there's no screenwriting for the Golden Globes, so more than likely, if he did anything, it was for the Emmys more than anything else. They're very actor heavy, as we know, for the Globes. Yeah. They want that. They want that star power.
Yeah. I mean, especially for the TV side of things. Anyway, I don't think they have a screenwriting per se.
Okay.
No director, editing, nothing.
What awards for Emmys for the West Wing?
I'm sure he won. I knew he won an Emmys before, but I don't know how many.
In 2000, 2001, 2002, and 2003.
Wow, that's impressive.
West Wing was great.
It was an amazing show. I still love it to this day. Oh.
But now we've gone on a sidetrack.
Yeah, sidetrack. Anyway, Best Film Supporting Actor. We have Daniel Kaluuya, Bill Murray, Sacha Baron Cohen, Jared Leto, and Leslie Odom Jr. Malcolm, are you going to surprise us? Who do we got? Because I don't feel like there is a clear frontrunner for this one.
Mm-hmm. I mean, I think we're all in agreement here. I think Jared Leto's winning for the little things.
All right, guys, we can wrap it up. We're done.
Honestly, I wouldn't be shocked if that happens. I've not seen that movie, but I do want to see it just because I'm curious. But honestly, after watching One Night in Miami for the first time a few weeks ago, I do think Leslie Odom Jr. will win this. You're muted.
Out.
And we lost Manning. Dan, what do you have for best film
Yeah.
supporting actor?
I'll be honest, Malcolm. I would love to see Leslie Odom Jr. win for One Night in Miami because I think he's fantastic. But I don't think he gives the best performance in that film. I think it's Kingsley Benadir. And I believe after watching Judas and the Black Messiah at the Sundance Film Festival, virtual film festival, Daniel Kaluuya is going to win this award. It's the most out there performance, and he gives these speeches, and I believe it's Daniel Kaluuya, and I love Leslie Odom Jr. and I love Sacha Baron Cohen in Trial of Chicago 7. But I think correct me if I'm wrong. Is Sacha Baron Cohen in another category or no?
Sasha is in another category.
So Sasha's got a second chance. Leslie's got a second chance somewhere else. Sasha's got a chance somewhere else. Jared Leto might as well just go take a long walk off a short pier. And Bill Murray, Bill Murray. Why is Bill Murray in here?
He's just happy to be there.
I think he was funny. He was funny on the Rocks, but this is Daniel Kaluuya, in my opinion. I'd be shocked if Daniel Kaluuya did not win this. That's just my opinion.
Okay, so apologies, everyone. This mouse is so finicky. Literally, I just kind of scroll looking at some predictions over here, and then I just literally do whoop, and it goes to the page I had beforehand, which was the page to set this entire thing up. So it kicks me out of here. So I apologize if that happens because this thing is finicky. You, sir, are not a nice guy. Get your act together or I'm going to replace you, okay? I'm sorry about you had to see that. All right. So I'm really torn. I agree with both Malcolm and Dan. I think that Daniel Kaluuya is starting to build momentum as someone like, hey, you've got an Oscar nomination before for Get Out. We want to reward you again in some capacity, maybe. But for some reason, I can easily see the Golden Globes being like, hey, Leslie Odom Jr., we love musicals. We loved Hamilton. Here's another one. I can easily see them doing something along those lines. I might change it last second, but like in my official predictions, I have Leslie Odom Jr. just because I think that's something they would easily do. While I think Kaluuya could take both SAG and both, BAFTA, and then he could also take the Oscar. And I might go with that, but at this point, I don't know. I really don't know, and that's the hard point. That's the hard thing. And again, Bill Murray came out of nowhere. I don't think so, but he came out of nowhere. I'm gonna flip a coin, and right now I'm gonna go with Odom Jr., but I might switch it in the next hour or so. So, Abe, what do you have?
I find this one extremely hard because I think, not that hard, honestly, because Jared Leto is out, Bill Murray is out, so it's a 3-horse race. And as Stan mentioned, that Sasha has a nomination in another category, so he can be, and he's probably going to be rewarded in that, in Best Actor, Musical, or Comedy, which makes no sense too. But I think it's gonna be Leslie Odom Jr. because I don't see any chance of him winning for Best Actor Drama because that one's probably gonna go to Chadwick Boseman, which we're gonna talk later. But yeah, I think it's gonna be Leslie. I don't know why I keep calling people with their first name like we know each other.
They're your buddies.
Yeah. Sorry.
Well. Sorry, I had to close my blind over there because the sun is literally giving this really awesome reflection where you can't even see my face. I'm actually going to go last second. I'm switching right now to Daniel Kaluuya just so we have some discrepancy on the panel. So we have 2 and 2, and I'm excited to see which one's going to be because why not? I'm not confident on any of the acting categories except maybe like one. Actually, well, not counting the comedy. Those are kind of almost self-explanatory. But for the main ones, I think there's only one that's real confident in, and this is when I'm not. So I'm just going to switch it right now, right here on the podcast to Kaluuya. But anyway, Best Film Supporting Actress, we have Amanda Seyfried, Olivia Colman, Glenn Close, Jodie Foster, and Helena Zengel. Now, I will say it is Amanda Seyfried. Seyfried. It is Amanda Seyfried. I'm 100% sure it is Amanda Seyfried. I have now figured that out, everyone. We may call her Amanda Seyfried. I literally looked up an interview where they asked her, and she said as such. But what do you think, Dan? We're gonna do Dan, me, Abe, and Malcolm. What do you have, sir?
I'll tell you what. This is one of the toughest categories of the entire award show to predict. I've seen every one of these. I've seen every one of these awards. I mean, movies that are in this category, and they all give great performances, including Glenn Close, including Olivia Colman. But I just think they're going to give this award to somebody new. I think somebody who's done a good job for many years, who kind of gives a really good performance. She gets all dressed up, has a different hairstyle, has all these costumes and stuff. And I believe it's going to be Amanda Seyfried. I just believe she's got it. But this literally could go to any one of the five. Jodie Foster is fantastic in The Mauritanian. And she has makeup, and she's got a hair, wig, because she doesn't look anything like the woman she plays in the movie. And so they could say, "Oh, you did a great job, Jodie Foster. We're going to give it to you," Or same thing with Glenn Close, So, but this literally could go to any one of the five. I believe it's going to go to Amanda Seyfried because I'm kind of rooting for her.
I agree. I'm rooting for her as well too, because she's been a consistent actress that has not had a lot of awards buzz. And Glenn Close and Olivia Colman won 2 years ago for The Wife and The Favorite in drama and comedy / musical, respectively. So they have a Golden Globe under their belt, and I don't see Jodie Foster winning or Helena Zengel getting in for the win. So by definition, it would be Amanda Seyfried. So I'm going to say it is her, and I'm semi-confident, but not at all confident about that whatsoever. So my bet will be Amanda Seyfried. Abe, sir, who do you have for Best Film Supporting Actress?
Amanda Seyfried. Why? Because I don't think the race is that close, or like it's not that strong of movies or there's not a movies or awards that it's gonna be highly recognized, and I think Meg has a higher profile out of the five. Well, the father, blindly, but Olivia Colman already won. She's probably gonna win for The Crown. Is she nominated right now for The Crown? Is she? Yeah, so she's probably gonna win that. And I've become a fan of Olivia Colman's speeches. I hope she wins more awards because it's gonna be hell of the couple. I don't know, 3-4 years she keeps talking. So yeah, I think it's gonna be Amanda because we're friends, Amanda.
Yeah, you're tight. Well, tell her I said hello, and she did a great job in Mank.
Yeah, thank you.
Malcolm, what about you?
This is one that tough is once again Glenn Close and Olivia Colman in a category together up against each other. This is a repeat of
Love
the Oscars. But just like what you were considering with supporting actor, for me it's either Glenn Close or Amanda Seyfried. At the moment I'm sitting Glenn Close, but I might do a last minute change to Amanda, but yeah, I think Glenn Close has the momentum, and I think the Hollywood Foreign Press probably may give it to her again, just because the Oscars keep leaving her behind. Which
begs a quick question before we move on to the comedy section. But Amanda Seyfried missed SAG. She's on the BAFTA shortlist, but she missed SAG. Mank missed SAG, save for Gary Oldman. It missed both for her, which people thought was the front runner, and it missed for Ensemble. Do we think, in some strange turn of events, that Olivia Colman could win a second one, or the other consistent one that we've seen, Glenn Close? Do we see Glenn Close finally winning an Oscar this year after the snub, or maybe not snub, but more of the twist that we had, and that when Colman won for The Favorite?
I mean, I think it depends on if Glenn Close does sneak in to get nominated, well, I don't see any reason why she wouldn't at this stage. One of the movies that has come out that may not have been eligible for the Globes may sneak in, pushing her a little bit out. But to confirm Abe, Olivia Colman is nominated on the TV side for The Crown, so so that could be a reason why we don't see her winning here.
That it could be a possibility. Any other thoughts you guys have on the possibility of Glenn Close maybe winning an Oscar this year, or is this kind of a far thought?
Yeah, I mean, she's the best part of that movie, but that whole thing with Olivia Colman a couple years ago, it's such a huge deal. It made national news, and it was like a big thing. So this could be the Paul Newman deal where Paul Newman doesn't win for the verdict because of Ben Kingsley wins for Gandhi, and they're like, okay, we're going to give it to Paul Newman this year for The Color of Money. This could be that deal where like we're not going to have this kind of controversy anymore with Glenn Close. We're giving it to her for Hillbilly Elegy, and we don't care. And she could sneak in there and grab that Oscar because of like, we're sorry, here you go.
Now, which brings up another point, I will say, was like it's like the year when James Stewart missed out on Mr. Smith Goes to Washington, which arguably I think he should have won that year. This is 1939, so we are way in the back. But he won the following year for 1940 for the Philadelphia Story, which actually you can actually find on the YouTube channel here, Take 3 Productions. We recently both Kristen and Matt talked about it, so haha, plug. But there have been consolatory Oscars about, hey, we didn't get you for this role, but here's another one. Or, hey, this is a role that kind of like the Al Pacino, where this isn't your best role of all time, but we're giving it to you as a sense of like, here, you are a great actor, take this Oscar. So you have one to your name. That could be it this year. And I just thought that'd be an interesting thing to talk about because Glenn Close kind of, which we thought, once Hillbilly Elegy kind of went, I thought she was dead in the water, but she's gotten Golden Globe, SAG, and the BAFTA shortlist. Don't count yourself out. And critics. So
she's actually good in that movie. I mean, Amy Adams is a little over the top, but Glenn Close is actually pretty good in that movie.
Mm-hmm. Anyway, all right.
Watch.
Yeah, that's the one you keep falling asleep. All right, so we have best film comedy musical best film comedy / musical actor. We have Sacha Baron Cohen, Dev Patel, Andy Samberg, James Corden, and Lin-Manuel Miranda for Hamilton. All right, so we're gonna again since Abe you weren't here, we're gonna go Dan, me, you, and then Malcolm.
I'll tell you that this is a category that I believe it's Sacha Baron Cohen's going to win this. I would love Dev Patel to win this. This would be a beautiful day if Dev Patel won this award for me. But it's going to be Sacha Baron Cohen because he's not going to win Best Supporting Actor because of the people that he is in there with. And this is how they're going to reward him. Plus, think about this. What's the funniest movie of the year? The category is Best Film Comedy or Musical. They hardly ever award comedies. This is a funny movie. And part of it is because he is so deadpan as this character of Borat. And, I want to see him win. That's the bottom line. Plus, I love how they make fun of Rudy Giuliani.
What an entire situation that was. Oof. For me, I have to agree. This is going to be easy. Sacha Baron Cohen. Lin-Manuel's not taking it. They're not going to give him for Hamilton. I don't see them doing that. I think it's more of like a, we love you. Please come listen and watch our show. Be on the Zoom call. We have just imagined all their faces in the little Zoom boxes. I think that'd be funny. We have Dev Patel, who's also happy to be there. Andy Samberg, and then James Corden, who's very, very happy to be there. Because I don't think otherwise he would have gotten in. But anyway, yeah, I think it's Sacha Baron Cohen. Abe?
I happen to agree with that. Yeah, like as Dan said, I think it's the well, Palm Springs is also comedy, but it's the most straightforward comedy, and I do think he shines in that movie. Like it's his film, and Borat is like that would be crazy. Well, The Godfather Part Two, he's not gonna win for actor, but it's crazy to think that he's probably gonna win as a sequel. Playing a character he has played before. Has that ever happened? Like someone bending best actor
Yeah,
for a
Paul
sequel?
Newman. Paul Newman.
Oh, the
Fast
color money.
Eddie
Yeah.
Felston. Fast Eddie Felston. He didn't win for The Hustler, and he wins for The Color of Money.
Oh, it's a sequel. Oh, that's right. Yeah. I remember that. I only watched The Color of Money. I haven't watched The Hustle. Yeah, but yeah, I think it's gonna be Sasha. Reference.
Malcolm, what about you?
I feel like it would have to be different now.
No, you don't have to.
But I mean, honestly, I thought Palm Springs was funnier than Borat, subsequent movie film. Personally, and I do like David Copperfield more than both of those. But I do think it's going to be Sasha that's going to win this. Purely for the fact that, especially with how politically charged the Borat is, then I think it caused enough controversy that the Golden Globes are going to award it. So yeah.
No, yeah, and that is a strong possibility for that to occur. So for you all, this film, best film comedy / musical actress, this is one I think we all can easily say almost in one breath. I feel like, at least. I could be very wrong, but I will hold off, and I'm going to have Dan once again start this one. Dan, tell me right now, who is it?
I think this is going to be the one that's an upset. I think the one that should win and will win is not the one that everybody thinks should win, because it hasn't. It only just recently came out, but the Hollywood Foreign Press probably saw this in Toronto at the Toronto Film Festival, and they were chomping at the bit to give this woman a nomination so they can give her a win. And she's British, and her name is Rosamund Pike for I Care a Lot. And I'm telling you right now, I've seen 3 of the 4. I think 2 of them don't have a chance. The 2 I haven't seen. Plus, everybody's trashing music, so forget about Kate Hudson. I know Malcolm's going to sing the praises of Anya Taylor-Joy and Emma, which I thought
As
she
will
was
I.
great in the movie. I loved Emma. I think she was great in it. I have no problems with her. There's some buzz around Michelle Pfeiffer. She's a darling. Maria Bakalova is the one that I think a lot of people, she's got this. But I'm telling you right now, guys, watch for Rosamund Pike for I Care a Lot. She is phenomenal. In a evil. She's like an evil woman, and she's fantastic. So I'm picking Rosamund Pike.
That is a ballsy move, and I have to say, I have to give you massive props to that one, because I recently saw I Care a Lot, which I did not care a lot for the movie.
Oh God.
I didn't, but I thought she was phenomenal, and it was like, and she and her jewel smoking, swindling, evil self, and I think she's fantastic. I have Maria Bakalova at this point because she was the one person to get all the buzz and has gotten the critics. She has a nomination. She's gotten the SAG nomination. By proxy, it is almost certain that she's the one to get this nomination. Now, that said, Rosamund Pike is my number 2 at the moment, and I can see that because the buzz, it literally just came out and the buzz is building. But I have the safe point at this moment to say Maria Bakalova, because she has the strongest chance of getting that Oscar nomination. And just by proxy, I consider that to be the case of like, oh, she's going to get it. So that's why I have Maria Bakalova at this time. But that is a nice call for Rosamund Pike. I think if anyone else can do it, it is her. Yeah, Anya Taylor-Joy, Malcolm, I think she's just happy to be nominated.
Yeah, I mean, I'm happy that Anya Taylor-Joy was nominated. I'm just sad that Emma didn't get more love at the Globes.
No, at least a comedy, right?
It's got to win best makeup and do they have costumes and all that stuff?
They have great costumes, fantastic costumes.
No, I'm
Um,
saying
Yeah,
do they have an award?
not at the Globes, though.
Oh, okay.
no, no, not the Globes. No.
Okay, well, we'll win for the Oscar. I'll put money on that.
I
Malcolm,
mean,
who do you have winning?
But yeah, I mean, this is easy. This was easy for me just because she's got the momentum. I think we're Baklova, how do you pronounce your name?
Bakalova.
Yeah, has got it. I mean, I've not had a chance to see IQ a lot yet. I know it's on Amazon Prime, just haven't got around to watching it.
Netflix.
Netflix.
Amazon Prime for me.
Oh, wow.
Oh, interesting.
But that being said, I've just kind of gone in a circle now. But I've got my back all over. That's kind of where I'm going with that.
No, that's totally okay. And then we lost Abe for a hot second. He's probably at this point charging up his laptop at the moment. So we will get his thoughts in a second. But right now we're going to best film comedy / musical, which we have Borat, subsequent movie film, My Wife, Palm Springs, The Prom, music, and Alexander Hamilton. He's not throwing away his shot. He is not throwing away his shot because he was in the room where it happened, and we lost Abe. Great. Okay. Oh dear. So I'll start with. I will start, and then we'll go Malcolm, and then we'll go Dan. We're gonna keep it rolling, keep it fresh, keep it fancy. For best film comedy / musical, I think this is Borat, subsequent movie film. This is almost a no-brainer at this point. The one that got the most buzz when it came out. It is. I think because it's politically charged, the Globes love to do that. The Globes love to nominate and give credence to specifically the Golden Globes more than anything else. Be like, aha, they poke fun at they poke fun at people. Let's empower. Let's give them the praise upon this. And I see them doing that. Hamilton, I think, could be a spoiler because that's something they do. That's very Golden Globesy of them to do. Palm Springs is kind of also happy there. Music ain't got a chance at all. And The Prom, also no chance, in my humble opinion. But this is Borat. What about you, Malcolm?
Yeah, I mean, I have no idea why The Prom is here and not Emma or the King of Staten Island. Music, I kind of want to see it with Globe's eyes to find out what they love about, because I've heard nothing but bad things about this, but that's mostly about the way they treat autism and all that. So for me, the only three ones that even had any kind of shot is Palm Springs, Hamilton, and Borat. I'm going Borat as well, but I'd love to see like Palm Springs to the upset, or even Hamilton to shut the Hamilton is not a movie, people up.
It's not. It's not a movie, Malcolm.
Recorded play.
It's a recorded production. If that's the case, then I have my high school production of Les Mis that's currently in a DVD in my
Was it theatrically released or going to be theatrically released?
No, but okay, well, fine. Anyway, Dan, what about you?
I got Borat winning this. I would love to see Palm Springs win this, but it's Borat. It's the talk of the town. Everybody loves Borat. Plus, I'm gonna keep beating this drum. They're making fun of Rudy Giuliani, and so it's got to win for that at least. Any making fun of Rudy Giuliani deserves to win.
And again, Abe has vanished, so he did not have his pick at the moment.
Actually, one thing that
Yes,
Leo Logan put in the chat that music has a 9% on Rotten Tomatoes. Well,
yes.
Is that the lowest rated movie on Rotten Tomatoes to be nominated for a Golden Globe? Yeah,
in general or this year?
I mean, in general, because it's probably the lowest rated one this year.
Goes back a long way, Malcolm.
I mean, I know The Tourist was poorly regarded when that was nominated for 2 Golden Globes, or 3, excuse me.
What was?
but yeah, I mean, I'm probably going to look this up.
That is your
once we go off
objective.
here.
No, your objective in the
but-
meantime, Malcolm, is to find that out. All right. So we have best film actor. So with that, we have may he rest in peace, Chadwick Boseman. We have Gary Oldman. We have Anthony Hopkins, Riz Ahmed, and Tahar Rahim. Which I could be butchering that, but I'm pretty sure that it is. Dan, is that correct?
Yeah, that's it.
Woo, fantastic. I can do some names correctly. Huzzah. But yeah, this is one I'm going to say I think is the most not the lock. I would dare not call it a lock. This is still early in the everything, but the one who has the most momentum at this moment, it's Chadwick Boseman. Chadwick Boseman has given a phenomenal performance, and I think especially after his passing, there has been a swell of like we need to give him some support. And if he gives his best performance of his career in Ma Rainey's Black Bottom, in my humble opinion, I think this is the one where he gets the love shown for him. And maybe Anthony Hopkins gets this as well, as a strong possibility for that to be the case. But I think Chadwick Boseman has built the energy at this point. And I think that'd be a great, especially even if it's over a Zoom call, like a family member, his wife, maybe accepting that award. That's something that'd be really nice, I think, to see. But Malcolm, what about you?
Yeah, I mean, I think Chadwick Boseman's going to win this. I mean, I usually hate predicting like that actors in the past to win awards for that reason. But I mean, he is good at Ma Rainey's Black Bottom, and I think the Hollywood Foreign Press will probably go, well, he's not going to be able to win anything else, so we'll give it to him and kind of and have that as a nice gesture to him.
No, yeah, since he did miss supporting actor for The Five Bloods. This
is his only chance.
His only chance. And I think this might be the case. Dan, do you disagree?
Yeah, unfortunately, I have to disagree here. I don't think Chadwick Boseman is in the top two. I think he's three of these five nominees, and I've seen all five films, and I'll be honest. I think Riz Ahmed is fantastic in sound.
Oh yeah.
But I think the best performance that nobody has seen yet, when you do see it, you will realize that Anthony Hopkins gives the best performance of the year of any actor. You will feel what he is feeling. You will be in his shoes on how they make the movie will put you in the shoes of the characters. That's how effective they are with getting across his disease. And you'll be blown away at how effective it is. And I think Anthony Hopkins is going to win, and he should win. I think he's going to win an Oscar. I feel like he's going to win an Oscar for this. And I hate to be the contrarian here and go against Chadwick Boseman, but I don't think Peter Finch and Heath Ledger were on a different level, in my opinion. That's one of the greatest movie quotes of all time. I'm mad as hell, and I'm not going to take it anymore. Peter Finch. And then Jared Leto, probably played one of the greatest characters in the history.
Heath Ledger? Correction, Heath Ledger.
Heath Ledger.
I must say, everyone, don't get mad. It is Heath Ledger.
Heath Ledger. Plays one of the greatest characters in the history of movies in The Joker, and he absolutely blows it out of the park. And he just happened to die because of the amount of work that he put into the character. He took some medications, he mixed his medications accidentally, and he ended up dying because he really put so much into that character. I hate to say it. I just hate to say it. I just don't think Chadwick Boseman's going to win. And I loved him in the film. I absolutely loved him in that film.
No, that's okay. No, that's completely okay. This is why it's contrarian. You're not saying he's a horrible person. Don't worry.
No.
And I think that since he probably will be nominated for 2 Oscars, probably, maybe. If To Five Bloods gets its groove back in some sort of way.
I mean, I think The Five Bloods might be slowing down its momentum because it missed out on SAGs as well. Although I think Chadwick got nominated for SAG for
Yes.
Goodbye Buzz, yeah.
Which why is the only reason I think
So
he's the only
I
person
think
that
he could be
survived.
the only one that will get through. But yeah,
I agree. And I think he's the only one because, like, well, I don't think his Defy Bloods one is that amazing. I could see possibly them being, if he gets nominated, being like, hey, we'll give you that one. We'll give Anthony Hopkins that one. Because I think Anthony Hopkins to me is like they're neck and neck because Chadwick Boseman has won a slew of critics awards so far. Whether that's for the quality of his performance or the fact that he's passed or a combination of both of them, I think is still, we don't want to write out. We don't want to say Chadwick Boseman doesn't have a shot in and of itself because I think this could build the momentum he needs. And I can see SAG probably maybe more than the Golden Globes, maybe giving it to Chadwick Boseman. More so because, he was an actor's actor. He was an actor that was just in a lot of things and made a lot of connections. So I can see that being the case. But yeah, I think Anthony Hopkins is a very strong choice, Dan. Also, for everyone to know, Abe, his power went out. So Abe no longer has access to the internet and is instead has nothing but his phone to communicate with us. Thank you, cellular data. All right, moving along to Best Film Drama Actress. We got two more, everybody. Two more, then we're wrapping it up. A little bit over my hour 15, but that is A-okay. Best Film Drama Actress, we have Viola Davis, Frances McDormand, Carey Mulligan, Andra Day, and Vanessa Kirby. I think, y'all ready for this? I think it's Carey Mulligan. I think this is going to be where they're going to give it to Promising Young Woman, and maybe I'm on a Promising Young Woman high at the moment after seeing it, but I think what she does, Carey Mulligan, going against the type that she has, she's played a lot of films roles before, but this one is such against the type that I've seen her do in the past, at least for me, and just because Viola Davis has won one, Frances McDormand has won one, two, even. And I think Vanessa Kirby and Andra Day are just there and happy to be nominated, as the saying goes. This probably might be Carey Mulligan's time, and I think this might start the snowball. Malcolm, what say you? Do you disagree? Do you agree?
I want to see Carey Mulligan win. I love Promising Young Woman, but I do think that Frances McDormand will get another Globe win. And this is me predict just based on the momentum. I've not as I said earlier, I've not even had a chance to see Nomadland yet, but I think Frances does have the momentum. But everyone's talking about her to win, so I'm going for her to win. But I'd love to see Carey Mulligan take it out.
That would be amazing. Dan, what about you?
Yeah, I'll tell you, my number one movie of the year, like I said before, is Nomadland. So, in conjunction, I have to go with Frances McDormand because I believe she gave a phenomenal performance. And if you look at the two movies she won her Oscars for, her performance in Nomadland is completely different than both of those films. She gives a completely different performance this time around, and it's a more subdued performance, but it's another great performance. And I think part of it is it's helped by what a great film she's in. The cinematography, the direction, that sort of stuff that helps accentuate her performance. But I'm with you guys. Carey Mulligan has been gaining momentum slowly, and she could be gaining momentum at the right time to where it may not be for this awards, but she could get it for the next ones. And
this is actually Carey Mulligan's second nomination at the Globes too.
Yeah, so I would not be surprised if she started that ball rolling downhill here, and when she won here, she started winning in other places, and then boom, she wins her first Oscar. But I just think it's Frances McDormand. That's just.
No, that's a solid pick. I have, for some reason, I have a hard time picturing Frances McDormand getting ultimately the end 3 Oscars. Like, for some reason, I guess maybe that's somehow like I don't, because I'm gonna be real. I think Fargo is deserving. Hot take. I think her Billboard one was not one where I'm gonna look back and be like, wow, that is an all-time great performance in comparison to her Fargo one. And if she wins for this one, I'm gonna be very much like, but was it deserving?
Well,
Go ahead, Dan.
And then we'll have 3 like Meryl Streep. And look at how many films she's been nominated for compared to Meryl Streep. Her percentage of wins for the nomination
amazing,
higher than Meryl Streep. So you're saying Frances McDormand is better than Meryl Streep?
I think Frances McDormand would disagree with you on that one.
That's what I'm saying. So that would be, I mean, that's some good logic there.
No, but I still think as an actress, I still see her, being in the contention and the hunt. But then don't count out Viola Davis at all, because she's Viola Davis and is a force of nature to be reckoned with in and of herself. I'm trying to think. I think we have one more category, ladies and gentlemen. I'm completely lost my tab. I have too many tabs.
Let's create some drama.
Let's create some best drama. All right, some best film drama. Best film drama. We have Nomadland, Mank, Promising Young Woman, The Father, and Trial of the Chicago 7. And again, no particular order, just want to reveal what my picks are. So, I think we are going to see start to see the battle commence between a couple of films. And I think this first one we're going to see is the win of Nomadland. Now, could it be Trial of the Chicago 7? Possibly, maybe. It could even be Mank. I don't think so, but it could be. I think this is Nomadland, and I think that this is the point with director. I think this will win more than just director. I think it's going to win director and picture for drama out of everything, and there could be some spreading of the love more so than anything else for Nomadland. And Leo Logan agrees with me. He also says Nomadland, and thank you, Leo. Malcolm, what about you?
So on my current Gold Tube predictions, I do have Nomadland winning, but I think if Promising Young Woman takes a few awards, that could probably secure Nomadland maybe winning. But I think if Nomadland takes a lot of the awards, I think Promising Young Woman could sneak in there and win, even though I'm not too sure if it's a drama per se. But we know the Globes like awarding movies that aren't really comedy or musicals. The Martian is a great comedy, I believe.
Oh, it's so funny. My favorite comedies that year.
It was funny though. There's a lot of funny moments.
It was, but I wouldn't consider it a comedy.
But I mean, I am sticking with my prediction for Nomadland though. But I think depending on how the awards fall on the night, then my predictions could change.
All right, Dan, bring us home, sir.
Well, it's a broken record. You're gonna hear it from me again. My number 1 movie of the year is Nomadland. My actually number 2 movie of the year is Trial of the Chicago 7. And Promising Young Woman's in my top 10 of the year. I just think this is a masterpiece of a film. I think it's gorgeous. I think it has great direction. This thing. In the times that we're living in today of people struggling financially, they're needing all kinds of help in our country. I don't know about Malcolm's country. I think this is a film that really talks about the country as a whole and the struggle that Americans are going through. And this is a woman who lives in her van, and she's driving around the country, and she's trying to find work, and she's trying to find money so she could fix her van, and this and that and the other. I just think this is the movie that, a lot of times awards season movies that are being nominated for awards and winning awards and stuff, are movies that are like about society as we live in, or something that's going on in society, or what's going on. And I think the movie right now that really talks about what's going on in society is Nomadland. I hate to say it. And I think that's why it's going to win, and it deserves to win. It's the movie that came out at the right time for the right time and place in America and the world. And I just think Frances McDormand gives a great performance, and it has great direction by Chloe Zhao, and I believe it's going to win.
And again, you have a unanimous panel in that regard. Nomadland, for a year that hasn't had a lot of like, boom, this person's out in front, this person's out in front. Nomadland has been just a consistent film people talk about. It wasn't one like, wow, this is a far and away above the others, but it was one where people were like, hey, this one's really good. Keep an eye out for it. And I think this could be the start of its snowball effect of like, okay, this wins this one, then it could win PGA, then it could win DGA. Most likely it might, unless we find out something else in the meantime between now and DGA, because we have some time.
And it's on Hulu too.
It is, exactly. It is a film that I still go back to, not to watch, but I just think about in my mind and ruminate. And I think this is a perfect way to reward it. But yeah, those are our Golden Globe predictions. And I know that Dan needs to eat before he gets back to work tonight, because he'll have to work tonight. And I know Malcolm just woke up, and I can already tell the sun. I can already see the sunlight from his window as he prepares for the new day. Will you guys be watching the Golden Globes tonight? Or Malcolm, I guess not tonight, but afternoon for you?
I mean, if I can, I don't know if it's being streamed online. But I'm going to try and watch it if I can find it streaming somewhere. But yeah.
If you have cable, NBC will be watching it. If you have cable, log in. You can watch it via NBC Live, but I do not have it. So I'm going to my girlfriend's, and we're going to be watching that, because I cut the cord, as I was telling Dan a while ago. So I have no cable. Instead, I live by streaming services, which by this point, when that happened, there wasn't this many streaming services around. Now there are. And now it's like, is it worth it? But that's another topic for another day, when we have just an influx of so many streaming services. And it's like, oh my Lord, now Paramount Plus, what are we going to do? First Peacock, now this. Anyway, thank you all for joining us on this. Leo Logan, Brian Nussbaum, people who commented, thank you again for joining us. Malcolm, where can the people find you?
You can find me on Tape 3. I host Rank 'em every Saturday. Next week's episode is going to be top 12 science fiction movies of the 2010s. You can find me maybe hosting late night on Friday nights. And I'm also do the Reactor Summit. Plus, on Full Metal, I host movie trivia stuff. And in a few hours, I'll be doing Full Metal Classic.
Busy man, busy man. He's the busiest man on the streaming platform, everybody. Worship at the feet of Malcolm. We also have Dan. Where can they find you? And what are you doing over yonder?
Well, I'm a film critic here in the Orlando area in Florida, and I work for a website called disappointmentmedia.com. Don't at me. I didn't come up with the name. I just write for them. That's disappointmentmedia.com. Also on my own blog, I do movie reviews from the fourth row at wordpress.com. And I do 2 YouTube shows as well. I do Bleacher Features, where myself and a guest, we discuss a sports movie every episode. And the Top 5 Weekly, based off of whatever's out in theaters or streaming services. And I just get a guest, and we rank our top 5 based on that topic. So if anybody wants to be a guest on either of those shows, just message me. And you can always find me at Dan Skipallen on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and Pinterest.
And you can find me at Twitter at Cine_man. That's CINE_MANN. And as well, you can find my YouTube channel, Manning Frames, where I'm starting to put more content out. And I just recently posted last week a video essay on science fiction films, specifically Evangelion. For those who don't know, Neon Genesis Evangelion was a 1995 show that came out, and I stumbled across it on Netflix. And I thought it was a very well done, well flawed film, or show/film. And I encourage you all to go check out that video essay, if not the actual show on Netflix. It's something I put a lot of time and energy to. So please go give that a listen, go give that a like, go give it a watch.
If you've never heard of that before, you watch that video, you will want to watch that show based on watching that video. Manning,
thank you,
does a phenomenal job at that. I had to say that. I'm sorry.
Thank you. I appreciate that, man. And I plan on trying to do some more stuff, because honestly, with a part-time job and a full-time job, it is hard to get a regularly schedule thing on the side. So I'm going to try to find a way to counteract that and make sure I have some content going on. But please go check that out. Thank you all again to listening to this live stream. This will also be available on Anchor Podcast, on Spotify, and Apple Podcasts later once we finish off this. Before I go watch the Golden Globes, I'm going to get this on there for you guys to listen to for a little bit. Obviously, this will all be null and void. I'm curious to see how we go up with eventually what happened tonight, but that's why I want to do a live stream to get it out. Thank you all for joining us. Ooh, is this going to be an hour 30 exactly? Thank you all for joining us. Not really, but you know what? That's okay. We were close enough. Thank you all. Have a great rest of the night and take care.